I'm right, you're wrong. Full stop, next paragraph. Yeah, that's really going to work. When you're trying to deliver information to somebody, the way that we are then being led to believe is an argument and something to actually be won, in truth is just an exchange of information. I'm going to share with you the reason why expressing yourself in a more neutral perspective and way is more beneficial in delivering the information that you wish to share and having the other person receive it and be able to act accordingly from it. I'm also going to share with you the reason why we feel that we need to be correct in our viewpoint and the decisions that we make through life. Coming back to, if you're not aware of it, the egoic concept and viewpoint of yourself. But before we go any further, let's actually take apart the word argument. Argument in Latin means reducto absurdum. It is basically an expression which means to remove the other person's perspective or point of view because it is absurd, it is wrong. Again, if you tell somebody they're wrong, what do you expect that they will do? Think about this for a moment. You know something is scientifically correct, let's say, and you're trying to share that perspective with a friend. Let's use the sky being blue as an example. If you say to somebody, look at the sky, it's so beautiful and blue today, and they say to you, the sky's not blue, it's green. If you say to them, no it's not, it's blue, straight away they will go on the defense, and that aspect of themselves which is there to protect themselves, which is why fear works in controlling and governing us. So let's use an example again. If you are fearful of something, you will most likely avoid it. If somebody tells you you are wrong, you will slam the door in their face, no longer listen to anything they're saying because you need to defend your viewpoint of being correct. If you say to somebody instead, that's interesting, I view the sky as blue, I find it interesting the fact that you view it as green, because in truth, the way scientifically it is perceived is due to light reflection and retention. The sky isn't really blue, it just appears blue to our human senses. The fact that you see it as green really interests and fascinates me. I see it as blue, and I can almost guarantee that 99.9% of the rest of the population do as well. So I'm actually really interested in the way that you see the sky, and I would like to add my perspective and my point of view to allow you to have a broader perspective, to be able to see more information from a larger field. If you shout at somebody, if you condemn them, if you tell them they're wrong, they will go on the defense and they will reject everything you tell them and throw it back in your face. This is an argument. I'm right, no I'm right, I'm right, no I'm right, I'm right, no I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. That amount of energy contained in that small field, with both sides trying to be correct and undermining and condemning each other, is not ever going to come to a beneficial outcome. The whole point in a conversation is to share information once again. An argument is in the wordings, is to condemn the other person's perspective and try to put yours as the superior viewpoint. So let's have a look at the ego, what the ego is and why it is more beneficial to deliver information that will be able to bypass the egoic construct, the egoic defense systems. This is how you always win an argument, by realizing that there is no argument to be had. So if you haven't heard of the expression or the term ego, then I strongly suggest that you click the subscribe button below now and actually watch all the videos that we've created about the ego and how to actually master the ego's defense system, the ego's control, the ego's desire to always be correct and right, with coming back to the baseline principle, the foundation of existence, that everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Whatever perspective, whatever viewpoint, however you look at it, scientifically, spiritually, matter-of-factually, everything in existence is energy vibrating at different frequencies. We are all made up of the same base core material, energy. Each atom is vibrating at a different frequency, which then creates a different molecular or physical structure that we are able to process and perceive with our human senses. Okay? Everything is the same material. Everything is the universe experiencing itself, as an example. So a exchange of energy in a conversation is just that, once again, is an exchange of energy. If it is mutual, if two people are talking to each other, they're actually uplifting and energizing one another. If one person is talking down to somebody else, they are doing just that, talking down and repressing them. And an argument is both sides, both parties trying to actually repress one another. Let's stop trying to repress. Let's stop having to always be correct, and let's actually uplift, liberate one another, as we are upon this one earth collectively, as one civilization, humanity, or even all sentient beings. All animals deserve to experience the same feelings of acceptance and comfort and warmth of love. The ego is our viewpoint of self. It is the human construct of I. Let's break this down even further for a moment and allow you to have an understanding of what I would teach in the spiritual teachings that I do on the Cosmic Surfer channel. So again, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that button now. Come on. Still waiting. No, there you go. So, everything's energy vibrating at different frequencies. You will always receive and experience that from around you which you vibrate at yourself. Where your attention goes, your energy flows, and what you focus upon grows. Likened to a TV, whatever channel you tune it into, it will receive that frequency from the air, in the airways around it, and broadcast that channel, broadcast that picture. It will show you whatever you tune it into. The same in life. You tune yourself into positivity and upliftment, you will see it. If you tune yourself into negativity and repression, you will see it. Everything's energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your egoic I am construct of self could be likened to a computer game character. As in the game of life, again, whatever you vibrate at, you will experience. The qualities and characteristics of the avatar self that you play in this game of life is dependent on exactly that. The qualities and characteristics, the capability, the potential of experience. You are playing the game. You are the character within the game, and you're also the being, the unlimited being of eternal aspect of self, the unlimited potential self playing the game. The ego believes yourself to be the character in the game, to be experiencing things that are happening around you, to believe that if somebody else does something, they are doing it to you. Poor me, somebody did something to me. I would be successful, but it's because of X, Y, or Z. I would, but I could, but. The ego is the single aspect of self. It is the physical structure and believes itself to be separate and always tries to find a placement of superiority. It will condemn another person or a viewpoint or a whole culture of people that it does not understand, instead of accepting that it does not understand it. What it is fearful of, it will run away from in order to protect the self from potential, not danger, more so being ridiculed or shamed in some way. If you get something wrong, it makes you feel less than capable. It makes you feel traumatized in some way, shape or form, and therefore it is more beneficial for the ego to avoid that. It's there to protect you, to keep you safe, fundamentally to keep you alive, and it will do so at whatever cost. It will take another life before giving its own. So, to have an understanding that the ego, the egoic self, is the construct of self that believes itself separate, and that the game that you play, the character within, will only be experienced dependent on the potential of levels that you are able to access. If you believe yourself to be limited, a victim, or lacking in any way, shape or form, that you will never be a success, then guess what? You will play those levels and you will only experience things within those boundaries, within that path. You'll walk a certain path that will take you towards a certain destination. To realize that you are not this body or just this body, you are not the thoughts taking place within it, and you are not the experiences that you have, that you are the aspect of self behind it all, then there is nothing outside of your capability to experience or achieve. Therefore, you are limited to nothing and no one. You are limitless in all ways. Even the words we speak are magic. The word impossible simply means I'm possible. The word failure, when broken down, in truth, failure is the most beautiful experience that we can have, and we will always be failing through life. And the more you fail, the closer you are to succeeding. Failure means falling around in learnings until realizing everything. Falling around in learnings until realizing everything. You will never know everything. Therefore, you will always be failing. Pause. Rewind. You will never know everything. Therefore, you will always be failing. Okay? So to get back to the way to win an argument, knowing that it is only the egoic self which desires the sharing of information, and that it does so because of one of two reasons. The ego either wants to be superior, to be correct, and to share this information with others so that it feels superior and correct, or have that feeling of desire to be correct grown and actually accepted. If you give information to somebody, it's because you want them to take that information because you know it's correct and true and it's helped you and you want it to help them, or that you are unsure about what you are sharing and expressing and you want the other person to confirm it, to confirm you, to confirm your worth of existence. So how do we go about sharing information that we know to be true with somebody else that we wish to allow them the information to act accordingly with? Tell a story. Don't tell them. Don't talk at them. Don't throw things on them. Speak to them, sharing that information with them, and never take away, only ever add. So the way to win an argument is not to speak or throw or chuck information at somebody, it's to share information with them. Don't speak at them, speak to them and with them. Exchange information together. Don't ever take anything away, only ever add. If somebody says something you don't agree with, say, interesting, and X, Y, and Z, and add to it, expand upon it, and allow that information to be integrated and accessible to them. If you tell them they're wrong, hello, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. No, you're wrong. Doors closed, they're no longer receptive. Wrong, 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 wrong. Pointless. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, yes, and. Oh, yes, I'm listening. So you agree with me in some way, shape, or form, and you're actually elaborating and sharing and expanding upon my point of view. Oh, I'm interested here because you think I'm right, and you're going to add to my feeling of being correct and right. You're going to actually uplift and build me up. Oh, I'm interested in you and what you have to say. Go ahead, continue to speak. Speak to me, not at me. Thank you. I'm listening. Speak to the ego, not the person, because it is the ego that requires that feeling of safety and security within itself to allow the information to be processed and integrated. And in truth, we could almost liken this to a child. Speak to somebody as though they're a child. If they're acting up, if they're coming from a place of reaction as opposed to actually mindfully choosing what they're doing, they're reacting from an old program that has been installed, most probably through the childhood. And then if you can communicate to that aspect of self, to the childhood self within them, and make them feel safe and secure and comfortable, then they can stop kicking off and trying to get their own way because they know that they are safe and comfortable and that they have everything they need. Therefore, their defense system will come down and they will be able to bring in information and understand and come to a more rational and beneficial conclusion of what is taking place within them and around them. and stories are beautiful. The words we speak literally are magic. They're vibrational. This singing bowl behind me. Hello. Hello. That is a form of vibration that we can hear as sound, energy vibrating at different frequencies. I hate you. I love you. They're both expressions. They're both terms. Again, it's just words. It's just energy vibrating at different frequencies that I'm emitting and sharing with you. Which one makes you feel better? Which one is a more beneficial way to actually start a conversation, to deliver information to somebody? You're wrong. I hate you. I'm right. Listen to me and do what I tell you. It's not going to work. It hasn't ever worked and it never will. It's repression. Yes, fear is a very easy way of controlling people. It's a very easy and quick way to get people to do what you want them to. We can see that in the global situation at the moment. Chuck a load of fear at people and they'll do what you tell them. Give somebody the space to discover for themselves. Give them the support and the feeling of safety to learn and to grow within. Provide them safety, security, and a structure of understanding. And watch as they flourish and evolve within themselves, bypassing all old forms of corruption and destruction, and entering into a world of true equality like never seen before. Information. It's all information. Everything is information. What I'm giving to you now is information. What processes and is continuously churning around within me is information. If I was to attach to it and condemn myself for having a positive or negative thought, then I would condemn myself for having a positive or a negative thought. It's only ever the self which prevents the experiences that we wish to desire to experience to be experienced. You that creates the boundaries to overcome so that you can feel that you are worthy of achieving or experiencing that which your heart desires. Information can be likened to reading a book. Knowledge is true power because it is information actualized. And I'm providing you the knowledge because I have experienced time and time again this to be true. Just because it's true for me does not mean it is true for you. But by being able to take in other people's information without a egoic defense system that would deny it because it doesn't fit within the old viewpoint of the world. Let me have a look. The information you're giving me, does that fit into my filing system of facts? No, it doesn't true. It's not true. It doesn't exist. It must be wrong. No, computer says no. No, I hear you, but no. Interesting. Let me process that. Pass it through my internal filtration system. It doesn't fit. Interesting. Therefore, it has the potential to actually expand my viewpoint, to alter my perception of reality, to take me into a new level of excitement and adventure that I would otherwise not have been able to experience because of the old construct of information. Again, go back to the computer game. In level 1, there's only certain amounts of potential situations you can experience. When you get to level 3 and the new boss comes up, you don't go, oh no, you don't exist. I haven't experienced you before, therefore you're not real, you can't be right. You're like, oh, interesting, that's new. Everything is always changing. Continuously, now, and even the moments between, everything is eternally changing. Nothing lasts forever. It's only the ego again that wants to attach to things that have been, even if it's a negative past event. That happened, therefore it defies me and I will hold on to it even if it kills me, which quite often it will. Because it is stress through actually holding on to things that are heavy and repressive that causes stress. Oh, I'm going to hold that. yeah, that's true. Therefore, I need to. Yes. Yeah, feels good. The fuck, man. Causes stress, distress. And anytime you're not in a place of ease, anytime you're not accepting and living in that state of flow, like into a river, it will cause dis-ease in the body. A river flows. If it didn't, if something stops it and prevents that flow of water, it prevents the flow of life within it. The water becomes stagnant, hostile, putrid, rotten, and actually detrimentally affects all life within the river, just as all energy within the self. So the way you win an argument is to stop trying to win it. It is simply to tell a story. Tell a story allowing your egoic self the capability of expressing and sharing the information which it wishes to deliver. Okay, yeah, I've got a view and I want to share it. Tell the story. I've shared it. Therefore, I'm good enough. Because we need to actually incorporate and allow the ego's expression of self. It is an aspect of self, a part of self. And actually the next video I'm going to record is all about Frankenstein's monster and the true meaning behind it, being made up of lots of different parts, just as you have an angry side and a positive side, a happy side, a loving side. Only through full acceptance and integration of all these aspects of self, knowing that you are one being, that we are one entity, one consciousness, that we are the universe or God experiencing thyself. Only then will you be able to actually consciously choose that which you wish to experience, utilizing the law of attraction and other laws of existence. If you deny the negative aspect of yourself, put it in the darkness, from the darkness, it will still exist, but it will actually go about undermining and condemning you. So by sharing a story, you allow yourself to deliver that information, keeping your ego happy, and you also allow the other person to receive the information, because it has nothing to do with them or their ego. Remember, it's all about the ego. It's nothing to do with their ego. Therefore, their ego is like, okay, it's not to do with me. I'm going to listen. Oh, that's interesting. And then the subconscious mind can integrate the information and actually use it accordingly, integrate it into the experiences it's had itself to come to a new and potentially more optimal conclusion over past experiences and events. What you did was wrong. Ego defense. Nothing's getting in. Yeah, I can see that. I remember when this thing happened to this person. And what happened to them was X, Y, and Z. And what happened after that was that they actually were able to stop and to sit down and to think about their actions and to learn from it and to come to a more rational conclusion. This is what happened. This is what they did as a result of it. Nothing to do with this ego. Therefore, this ego is not on its defense about the information, and the information can filtrate through that defense system to the subconscious mind behind. Use a story. It is the storytellers throughout history which are some of the most famous and greatest names of our modern society. The pen is mightier than the sword, because we can write down those stories. And it is all about the mutual exchange of energy. Again, knowing that everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. To take it to another level, the next step up, you could actually go about learning linguistics, learning the magic to the language that we speak, knowing that the words that we cast are exactly that, magic. Going back to I love you, I hate you, and the vibrational frequency and the multitude of tests that have been done on life forms, as well as just a jar of rice, saying to one jar I love you and one I hate you. The love you jar will stay white and pure, the I hate you jar will go black and putrid. It is a vibrational frequency, and the most important voice which whispers to you is within your mind. I am being the most powerful words in existence. And again, if you are interested, if you're still watching this now, it's because you're interested in the nature of reality, interested in the fact that everything is potential, because it's all energy vibrating at different frequencies, and dependent on what frequency you align yourself to will attract that potential to you. If you are on a spiritual awakening journey, or just have a desire to empower and better your life, then subscribe to the channel now, and make sure you go back and watch the Modern Day Mindfulness series, which is every Tuesday on the Cosmic Surfer channel. In there, one of the most recent ones is the power of I am, the words that you speak. I am being the most powerful words in existence, and what you whisper to yourself internally is then what you create and act accordingly with. As well as this, there is the Mainstream Meditation channel, where we deliver a weekly meditation, guided meditation. Podcast, I'll link everything below. The podcast is next level. Next level. And we've had some of the most amazing and fascinating guests, from Olympic gold medal athletes to gurus to doctors to comedians and everything in between. It's all about the expansion of self by integrating as much information as we can and then using it all. If it vibes with you, great. If it feels right, great, keep it. If not, just put it to the side. If you're born believing that the way that you bake a cake is correct, you're educated and raised to bake a cake in a certain way. If you never take anybody else's ingredients on board, if you never add a little sprinkle of this or a pinch of that, if you never expand upon what is the old way, there will never be a new way. And you'll be limiting yourself to only ever be able to experience that vanilla sponge, as opposed to trying that amazingly delicious and elegantly mouth-watering chocolate and coconut cake. Whatever floats your boat, you know. If you're coming from a place of love, with a understanding and respect for other people, and that you are always coming from a place of compassion for yourself and others, then have at it. Crack on. Whatever you want to do, do it. If you want to dress up as a unicorn, be the best unicorn you can be. Okay? Relate to people. If somebody's dressed as a unicorn, and say, as an example, your kid likes dressing as a unicorn and they get into an age where you're worried that they'll get ridiculed, the way to actually deliver the information that you want to deliver to them would be to dress as a unicorn yourself and allow them to watch you get ridiculed, and allow them to feel the feelings of sadness, suffering, pain, but from that alternate perspective. To go, oh, okay, as a kid I can see that children can dress as unicorns and nobody really cares. As an adult, people seem to mind and naturally throw rude remarks and comments at. But taking it another level, I can see that my father doesn't care what other people think about him. He dresses as a unicorn anyway. He wants to dress as a unicorn, he enjoys dressing as a unicorn, and he does so simply because he can. Doesn't care about anybody else, because in truth, they don't matter. That will allow for your child to see that there is consequences to our decisions, but if it comes from a place of vibrational harmony with who we are, then it's something that is beneficially experienced. If you're born to be a unicorn and you try to be anything else, you'll never be happy until you be a unicorn. True. This is why I'm happy and content and joyful in everything I do now, because I am who I am. I speak and express mutual understandings through the desire to uplift and empower each and every person upon this planet. I share love. I teach love. And I do so in a way that allows me to experience and to learn and to grow from the information as well. Love's always the answer. You're wrong. all you lot are all in fear and hatred, you're wrong. No, it's all right, it's all perfect, or it not be so. If somebody, as an example, likes football and you want to share information to them, put it in a story integrating football and the main character being the main character, being them, and relate the main character to them, the characteristics, the qualities, their height, their eye colour, etc. Do it in a way that they don't realise what you're doing, and the part of themselves, the egoic self, will allow the information because it's not them, and they can then learn from it subconsciously and integrate it and act accordingly from it. If you want to deliver information to somebody who likes football, then do so by placing that ball on the penalty spot and guiding it to the lower left-hand corner and into the back of the net. Goal, job done. Move on. Next page, next experience, next adventure. So the way to always win an argument is simple. Don't. There's nothing to be argued. It's just a sharing, an exchange of energy. To argue is to try to condemn the other person's perspective or point of view, to try to put them down. And if you've got to get really deeply into it, the subconscious mind, which runs your operational system, your programming, which responds accordingly due to external situations, an unknown multitude of information linked into previous experiences. Again, this relates to a previous experience, therefore it's good. This relates to a previous experience, therefore it's bad. Black and white. It's not black and white. There is no good and bad. When you get to a level of understanding that everything is existing in complete harmony, that there is no war to be had. There is no good and evil. It's not the fact that there is a war going on between the elements of light and dark. It is just an eternal majestic dance between the beautiful bride in her wedding dress and the groom in his black suit, integrated and dancing eternally together. Without light, there is no darkness. Without darkness, there is no light. If it was all light, all love, there would be no separation to it, therefore there would be no understanding of it. If it was all darkness and cold and void, there'd be nothing to experience. It's it. It's the middle ground. If you have enjoyed this video, I do realise it's gone on now. It wasn't the intention, but once I get in that state of flow, I just love to continue to share. I do realise I repeat myself quite often, but it is the repetition which allows for that information to be integrated at the deepest of levels. And as you go ahead and continue to learn and continue to listen, seeing with all of your senses, I ask that you share this information with anybody else it may assist, and continue to expand your awareness through the evolution of your consciousness and the collective. Knowing that as you continue to do the work, as you continue to look beyond the limitations and barriers of old, you realise there is a whole world outside of that which you would otherwise never have experienced. And as you continue to expand your consciousness, your state of self, you cause the very expansion of the universe itself, as the universe must expand in order to house your expansion of self. Drop me a comment below, let me know if this has helped you at all. Share it with a friend, make sure you subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff. And I look forward to connecting with you on a deeper level again soon. Comment below if there's any topic that you would like discussed or covered, and be sure to come back next week to listen to the Frankenstein's Monster episode, because it is one that will be very interesting and allow for all aspects, all parts of the self to be better understood. All the emotions, all the reactions, all the programs, limited or otherwise. Love, light, and infinite blessings. Until next time, namaste.